Okay, here's an internal report. I don't see any of the bushings coming out. I checked in this one too. The bushings are in there good. And then everything was pretty good except for two things I'm pretty sure I noticed. One, I already kind of knew the sorbo was coming undone. That's not how extreme it was. It was actually together, but the whole middle section, which you can kind of tell was coming gone. So I had to take it off, and I guess under an extreme setup, even with this nice garter piston head, let me just go ahead and take the whole thing out. Even with the nice garter piston head, it still ate the sorbethene really quick, and I'm pretty sure this had to do with the impact. So here it is, and this is no way sharp. Where it ate it was in the middle, so I don't see how that's even possible. Really, that's got to be some nice rate of fire and impact, I guess, to do that. So I Swiss cheese this because I was looking near the back here, and it looks like there might be some pre-engagement that I can tell. And I really don't Swiss cheese a lot. See if I can get a picture of this first before I keep talking. See, it looks like it pre-engaged a little bit, but the whole idea was to remove weight, just like everybody pretty much says to remove weight. But I figured this kind of setup should not need to put some extra work into it, so I'm gonna have to clean this out a little bit more. You can see there's the screw that goes to the piston head, and the teeth look fine. The only kind of marking, there was some marking here, but that's from it. This has been in a previous gun before. I don't remember there being marking on the back of the teeth here. It's possible, but I don't think so. So we'll go ahead and I'll put this in with the spring, and I checked it already. It looks like the angle of engagement should be okay. And so then here is the cylinder head, just to kind of show. So what I did here was, this is from another cylinder head. Pulled this off. What I did previously is I pulled this off of the previous cylinder head and threw it away. Then I applied the sorbethene, which I thought, from sorbethene being pretty dang thick and pretty dang impact resistant, I thought it would hold, and supposedly no, that's not true. So that stuff that was on the cylinder head previously shouldn't have been thrown out, should have been put back on top like this, supposedly. Can't seem to get rid of how abrasive that is. Well, not abrasive, I guess, what do you call that? Worn. It's pretty worn, but this should be okay. So the other side was even worse, so I just figured I'd just put it like that. So I doubled the thickness of the sorbethene, and you can kind of see a little bit of the glue. I really just am surprised that the sorbethene actually got destroyed the way it did. So let's go ahead and put this back in. And get this thing back together. But from looking at the gun, it's definitely tweaked just the right way. I don't see anything on here that shows signs of the shims being too tight. Obviously, spinning and checking the up and down movement is the for sure way, which I already know it was tight, but it left just enough looseness that when you pulled the gear up, you could see it actually come up. And if you put any more .1s on any of these, it would be too tight, and the spin would be resisting, so it's definitely as close as perfect you're going to get. Also, just to show that, here's the bevel. It's in great shape. It's as high as it can go to avoid the teeth right here. You can kind of see that the grease has been removed in that area, meaning that it's really close to rubbing against it. I don't know what else to say there. I kind of figured it was really close because I remember that I was talking about drumeling a little bit, maybe if I had to, but it's probably 0.1 millimeter away from this. I mean, I tried to put it as high as I could go, but the fact is I can't really change this because this is at the perfect meshing height. So got lucky when I went to go check it back and everything. This looks like a little bit of grease and dirt build up. There wasn't very much grease around in the gearbox as far as making a mess, because I don't put enough to really make a mess. So pulling out the pinion, because that's probably another questionable thing. So here's the pinion, and I don't see any shape marks. All I see is, excuse me, I don't want to make that gear come to the motor. It was trying to get magnetized. The magnet was trying to pull it closer. Excuse me. When I look at the pinion, it looks like there is no new shape to it still. Basically what it looks like is just the paint has kind of removed itself. That's all I have found, and it's only on one side. That's the push, because it's, you know, rotating only one way. So you can see, like, as I rotate it, only the left side of the teeth have the paint. Let's see if we can get a better zoom up of that, if it'll allow me to. Wow, do I need to? So basically you can see here, and looking at the shape, it's still the same shape. Excuse me. It's still the same shape. I haven't seen the shape change yet, so there's still going to be some whine no matter what. I think what it's coming down to is this is a really hard material, and it's not going to shape anytime soon, because that's what I see. So, but the actual shape of the pinion has really not changed any. As you look at it, even through all that dry firing, the shape is still the same. So, and I don't think if the bevel is some really bad material, I guess, like if it's really soft, it could shape faster than the pinion. But I don't see any shaping here either. I don't think it could really shape as easily as the pinion would, because the pinion's trying to apply pressure. So that's pretty much it. I didn't find anything wrong other than just that sorbethine. I really had a questionable on it. I had to take out the barrel and really clean it, and I found little pieces that, like, the tiniest tiny like that. So obviously I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have lasted much longer. Again, I just don't see how this piston head could do that much damage, but somehow it did. Somehow it did. So this is I think the second day after messing with this this gun, and in the internal video, which we saw just a little bit ago, the only changes I have done is change the O-ring out, because this was getting a little bit hot in the cylinder. I did a ton of dry firing to see if that new sorbo was going to get destroyed or not. And during the ton of dry firing, I mean, I did a ton of dry firing, the cylinder got really hot. So hot that I could smell burning, and I thought it was something to do with the electrical. I was like, whoa, what's going on? So I stopped shooting, but nothing was really hot. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I better look inside the gearbox, and I pop out the pin and slide this forward, and as soon as I grab it like this, I burn my finger because the cylinder was so hot. I couldn't believe how hot it was. So I think that might have been what had caused the sorbo to break down even faster, was the piston head is just slamming against it, and it was this whole cylinder was heating up to extreme heat. That the sorbo was just taking heat, this hot air, and the heat around it, plus the piston head just hitting it hard. So what I did was I already showed in the last video how I corrected it, and I did a ton of dry firing after. The cylinder again started to get warm, and this is even after I applied this, and I applied quite a bit. Make sure that whole cylinder has it, plus the O-ring, and it still got a little warm, so I switched out the O-ring to get away from that, because I'm not sure what cylinder this is. This is, I think, an Ares G36 cylinder from one of my old Ares guns, Ares G36, and then the piston is garter with the garter O-ring, and I swear, and nobody really sometimes believes the things I say, but I swear that the air nozzle, the cylinder head, and the cylinder, sometimes these things are a little bit off spec from each other. So when you put in the O-rings, they don't actually fit, and you have to modify to make it correct. However, from what I saw, it was way too tight. The O-ring with the piston head inside the cylinder was way too tight, and I think that was what had made so much heat in here, because even with this, it really didn't do anything. And I've made fast rate of fire guns before, and I mean, I've never smelled burning like that, and at the same time, I've never put my hand on a cylinder that was extremely hot like that. So for me to really say that, I really honestly believe that I've seen this multiple times, and just between off-brands, when I say off-brand, I mean one brand to the next, they're not the same brand. You swap out the O-rings, and they either fit tight or they fit loosely. So in this case, I really think it was just way too tight. But I did a lot more dry firing, and I reopened it up, and I didn't find anything that was showing signs of the gun not going to work or going to fail anytime soon. I didn't see any signs of anything. The sorbo was in great condition. It was like it was just brand new, put back in there. Other than that, the thing is shooting so fast that I've noticed that it almost shoots twice in semi. It actually, boof, and it's right here. So either I'd have to do some more short stroking or get a MOSFET installed, and so we're kind of just waiting for that. But other than that, the gun's tuned really well. What we call this overspin is really not a problem. If you want to correct the position when you're done after game, you can actually just slide off this top right here, this top receiver, and there is the VFC gearbox has a hole window right here for the spring to the gearbox, and you can actually just press full auto burst until you see the piston go enough forward. Plus on the other side is ported, so you can see where the piston is practically all the way forward, so instead of using semi. But from what I've seen, I'm very happy with the what was I going to say? I haven't done any real shooting performance, but the gearbox performance is what I can see. Other than that, I've been looking around on YouTube, and I found a lot of videos using the Lonix motor, and I've noticed that they had a lot of whine too. I'm not sure if it has to do with just the fact the pinion is somehow a little bit different, but I could hear that whine in a lot of those Lonix videos, and even the newer Titan ones. So it just goes to show, even if it is, let's say you perfectly shim it, and I know this is perfectly shimmed, and this is definitely 100% perfect, because the watts up shows that it's the lowest amperage usage is at the point that it's at. So really, the only way I could see this making a different sound is with a MOSFET, with active braking, so you can't hear the double spin, the overspin as much, and so it's a little bit crispier and short pull, but at the same time you make the pull a little bit quicker. It's a lot harder to hear some type of whine, but the bushings too, they create sound as well, because the ones in this one are solid, but they don't give any extra spin to the gears. The gears are basically producing their own resistance to spin. It's just something you have to do with bushings versus bearings. Bearings, of course, are not going to be as reliable, but there is one set of bearings that I do love, is the Modify ceramic 8mm bearings. I've said that quite often everywhere. Let's stop looking at the gun, I guess, and kind of just go around other things that I'm using around my place. We have basically this I use to carry parts of a gun, like if a gun's down or something, put all the parts in if I need to work on something else real quick. We have all these sorbos out. I need to go back. I'll put them back a little bit. Basically lots of fuses and reset fuses over there. Just miscellaneous parts. This is usually where I get my glue, my red thread lock, and some other things. I have gloves in there and tape. And then this is my main box over here that has all the spare parts, and they're labeled for the most part, so and organized to make it quick. And then I carry this with me pretty much everywhere I go now to do anything I need to. If I need to work on a gearbox or swap a spring for somebody, that makes it real easy to do with that. So I'll carry my magnets with me and pretty much anything else. And that's pretty much it with this table. I mean, all my other soldering stuff and everything I try to do outside or away from this section. It's showing that the battery is about to die. So I guess I'm going to have to go, but I'll make some other videos pretty soon. I have not been really liking YouTube. I've been seeing a lot of problems with YouTube, and it's just frustrating. Plus I don't see a lot of views going on my videos, so I'm kind of just getting like, why should I make videos? I do have some modifications that I do want to show that are not online, posted anywhere, as far as the trigger, the light trigger pull, the trigger hair mod, and then some other modifications I really don't want to show because I want to keep to myself the stuff that I've been working on. But this one for sure, I definitely want to show how to properly shim if there's any problems for anybody. I'll have to make a video for that because there's stuff that's not posted that I use all the time, and this battery is really about to go out. So I'll catch you guys later. Bump you with a fist, and Zach out.